Hello, students. Welcome back. Hope all of you are doing very well. God bless you all. And in my today's presentation, we are going to discuss the poem How to Tell Wild Animals, written by Caroline Wells. A very nice poem in which Caroline Wells is just trying to tell a new traveler, a visitor who visits a jungle in the East, how he or she can differentiate between various wild animals. The pictures, the study material, the reference material has been sourced from various educational websites, reference books, and NCERT book. This slide is telling us the summary of the poem. Students, this poem is made up of 6 stanzas. And in 6 stanzas, Carolyn is telling us about 7 animals. The first one is Asian lion. The second is Bengal tiger. The third is leopard with peppered skin. The fourth is bear. In the fifth stanza, 2 animals or wild beasts are mentioned, and they are hyena and crocodile. And the last one is chameleon. So the poem is introduced in a very funny way. The characteristics of these 7 wild animals are explained in a very humorous way. The theme of the poem, How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells. Students, the topic of the distinctive attributes and characteristics of wild animals and how they differ from domestic animals is the theme of Carolyn Wells' poem, How to Tell Wild Animals. In this poem, she, in a very humorous way, tells about the various characteristics of these wild animals and how they differ from the domestic animals. And even how a novice means a person new to jungle, can easily differentiate between the various wild animals. So let's start with the first stanza of the poem. If ever you go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. Very simple. If you're traveling to the jungle in the east and you meet a wild animal who is having a yellowish brown color skin, which is referred to as by the word tawny beast, and if this animal roars at you, and just by listening to the ferocious roar, you die, you be sure that you have met an Asian lion. So let's discuss the poetic devices used in the poem, and particularly in stanza 1. The rhyme scheme of the entire poem is A, B, A, B, C, C. The rhyming words definitely are different for different stanzas, but the rhyme scheme is same throughout the poem. Then in this stanza, we have used, or Carolyn Bell has used, enjambment, inversion, assonance, allusion, and poetic license. You see the word dying, D-Y-I-N. That is for the word dying, D-Y-I-N-G. In the second stanza, let me read out the second stanza. Or, if sometime when roaming around, a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. Very simple. Carolyn Wells tells, if you're going to the jungle, you're roaming about, and there is a noble wild beast. You see, students, there's an oxymoron used over here. Noble wild beast. Okay. animal which is wild and is also called as noble. So these contradictory words, noble and wild, is oxymoron. So noble wild beast is greeting you. And what is this type of animal? It has got yellow skin with black stripes, and it just comes and eats you up. Then you should be sure you have met a Bengal tiger. So let's see the poetry devices used in this stanza. Rhyme scheme is same, A, B, A, B, C, C. Alliteration is there, inversion is there, illusion is there, assonance is there, as well as oxymoron is there. This is stanza 3. I read it out. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain, he will only leap and leap again. So in this stanza, Carolyn Wells tells the readers, if a traveler or a visitor who is visiting a jungle and he or she comes across an animal whose skin is covered with black spots, and this animal jumps on you and will keep on jumping on you till it kills you, then you should be sure that you have met a leopard. So in this stanza, students, a hide stands for skin, and peppered is a word which has come from pepper, kali mirch. Okay, the skin of the leopard is full of black dots, and that is what is being referred to as peppered skin. So the poetic devices used in stanza 3, as I already mentioned before, rhyme scheme is same throughout all the 6 stanzas, and the words are definitely different. So the other poetic devices which I used is alliteration, poetic license, because we use the word lep, L-E-P, for leapt. Repetition is used, assonance is used, and consonance is used. Stanza 4, I read it out. If when you are walking around your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it is a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he will give you just one more caress. Carolyn Wells is describing bear and tells, if you're walking in your backyard or in the lawn area of your house and you meet a creature, a wild animal, and it gives you a hug, and the hug is so tight that you may die. So you should be sure you have met an animal, and this animal is a bear. The poetic devices used in this stanza, as I had mentioned earlier too, rhyme scheme is the same in all the stanzas. Rhymic words are different for each and every stanzas. The next poetic device which is used is enjambment, alliteration, repetition, and assonance. Now we come to stanza 5, which is the most interesting stanza as per me. So let me read it out. Though to distinguish beasts of prey a novice might nonplus, the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. I feel this is one of the most funniest stanzas of the poem. Here, Carolyn Wells is telling the readers, the travelers, the visitors how to distinguish between the beast of prey. If they meet the beast of prey, here definitely 2 are mentioned. How will you distinguish? So if you look at the animal and the animal is smiling, so you should be sure you have met a hyena. And if you see the animal and the animal is crying or weeping, then you be sure you have met a crocodile. So here students usually the CBSE question comes, or usually the question comes on this line. A novice might nonetheless explain. Or what do you understand by this phrase? So a novice word stands for new, a person who is not known to anything. Okay, here the person may not be knowing the animals whom he is meeting in the jungle. And nonplus stands for confusion. So what is the meaning of this phrase? A novice might nonplus. That is a person who is not aware or who is not knowing the wild animals or who is not able to distinguish between the wild animals that he or she is meeting in the jungle, how he can distinguish between them. Or a novice, a new traveler, a person not knowing the wild animals may get confused when he meets the animals. So Caroline Wells has already described how to distinguish between these two animals. So the poetic devices used in this slide or in this stanza, rhyme scheme is there, alliteration is there, enjambment is there. So we come down to the last stanza of the poem. I read it out. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. And if there is nothing on the tree, it's the chameleon you see. Very simple, students. The picture also I have put up in such a way that you can see it's a bit difficult to spot the chameleon because chameleon can easily camouflage with the surrounding. Okay, so here the poet Caroline Wells wants to tell us that chameleon is a lizard sort of thing. It's very small. It doesn't have any ears and not even a wing. And if you don't see anything on the tree, be sure that you have seen a chameleon. So the poetic devices used over here is same, rhyme, rhyme scheme, alliteration, and consonants. In this slide, students, we are talking about poetic devices like imagery, oxymoron, and metaphor. Apart from the poetic devices that we have discussed stanza-wise. Okay, the poem uses imagery at various places. We are able to imagine the Royal Bengal tiger, the chameleon, the Asian lion, etc. Okay. Oxymoron also you see in stanza 2, the noble wild beast. Then in the sixth stanza, we have true chameleon. All these are the examples of oxymoron. We also have metaphor in the poem. Examples already mentioned, you see, a noble wild beast where the tiger is being compared with a noble one or spoken of as noble one. Roar with pain, the painful voice compared ironically with the roar of a leopard. Then stanza 4, the term keris, the bear one, okay? Keris is used ironically for the bear's claw attack. So these are the examples of metaphor in the poem. So here we'll discuss about 3 more poetic devices that are used in this poem, How to Tell Wild Animals by Caroline Wells. The tone of the poem is very humorous, funny. Personification is used to an extent that the tiger is referred to as he, not it. The human qualities of smiling and weeping have been given to the hyena and crocodile respectively. Hence, we can say personification is also used. Now, irony, as you all know, is a poetic device that is used by the poets to bring humor or satire on somebody or something. It is done by giving two meanings to a word or a phrase, that is, surface meaning and underlying meaning. So, examples are a noble wild beast greets you. He will give you just one more caress. Students, here in this slide, I have put up the question answers which are given at the end of the poem. I've also given the answers for those questions. I will also be putting up the Word document for the same question answers in the description box, so that if you want to know the answers, or if you have any problem answering the questions, you can read out the answers and be clear about it. Thank you, students, for watching this video on the poem How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hope this video will be of great help to you all. God bless you. Thank you so much.